Namaste and welcome to another session of insightful conversations at AuroBharati. Today we have with us a very special guest, Shri Madhu Jagdhish ji, and he's in his own words, a sculpture enthusiast. So we look forward to hearing how his journey of becoming a sculpture enthusiast started and more about his work as an expert in heritage, particularly temple sculpture photography. Before we get to Madhuji, I would just briefly like to introduce AuroBharati. AuroBharati is a vertical of Sri Aurobindo Society, Pondicherry, which is specializing in or looking after the research and studies in the area of Indian culture and society, particularly focusing on how a new India can emerge in the light of the vision of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother that is based on the eternal spirit of India, this cultural spirit of India. And Renaissance is the monthly journal of AuroBharati, through which we bring out various articles and publications and interviews with people from various fields of work who are working on sort of rejuvenating the cultural spirit of India for our present times. So in that context, in that regard, we have today an expert in heritage photography, Madhuji, with us. We look forward to hearing from him. Let me invite first Shruti from Auro Media, who is also joining us for this session. Shruti herself is a photography enthusiast. So Shruti, would you just briefly introduce yourself and Auro Media?
So first coming to myself, Shruti. I'm Shruti from Pondicherry now. And Auro Media is part of Sri Aurobindo Society. And Auro Media looks after all the needs, the media needs of all the verticals which are there in Sri Aurobindo Society, the 8-10 verticals which we have. So we cover these events in the form of photographs and videos, and then we use them on our social media platforms. So this is a very short description of what Auro Media does. And for myself, I would like to say that I love photography from my childhood, and somehow I have studied this medium. I got to study photography as part of my curriculum, and now I work also in the same field, and day by day I'm just learning more and more and more and more about photography. And I think it was very nice of Beludi to think of me and invite me for this session when I get to hear something from a very professional photographer.
Great. So Shruti is also an Odissi dancer. So, that way her relationship with temple sculpture goes much deeper than just photography. Okay, Isha, would you just introduce yourself and our guest for today?
Yes, Balaji. Balaji, you have almost said the main points. You have almost said everything about him. He has a passion for photography. He is a nature, wildlife, and sculpture photography enthusiast. And he is based out of Polachchi, Coimbatore. His work made him travel across the country and abroad till Masai Mara, capturing the beauty of wildlife and meeting plenty of people. His Madhuji also has conducted several exhibitions for school and college students and participated in national level exhibitions. His photographs are being used by leading Tamal magazines, and he has been interviewed plenty of times for documenting Indian temple heritage. And he displays his work on Facebook at his page, Madhu Jagdhish, Sculpture Enthusiast. While photography remains his real passion, Madhuji also has a graduate degree in industrial engineering and owns a software development consultancy business. He also runs a computer education center and has trained more than 1,000 students. That's all. Thank you.
Quite an interesting, diverse background, Madhuji. So yes. Let me begin with just asking this. how did you get into photography, and just about your journey as a photographer, particularly getting into the temple photography, temple sculptures? So
Actually, I started my photography as a hobby from my school days, as a school or college days, exactly to be exact at the age of 16. In my college days at Nachimuthu Polytechnic College, I studied mechanical engineering there. During my college days, we were publishing a quarterly manuscript magazine. In those days, there were no internet and much social media like this. So we were publishing a literary manuscript magazine. So in that magazine, we were covering about nearby heritage places and old buildings, monuments, like that. So we visited many temples in our district, Coimbatore district, and nearby Madurai and Tirupur district, like that. We visited many places, and we have written many articles along with photographs, suitable photographs we have taken. At the age of 16 and between 16 and 18, I have developed my own interest in heritage photography. In those days, I was frequently visiting a popular pilgrimage spot, Sabrimala in South India, Ayyappa temple. So during that trip, we have planned many number of ancient temples of heritage important. Along that pilgrimage, while going for that pilgrimage for at least for 5 to 6 days, we will be covering most of the temples, South Indian, prominent South Indian temples throughout South India. So while going down those age-old temples, looking at the sculptures and ancient temples, I got admiration to sculptures and temple architecture. And of course, to be proud, my native state is Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu is the land of temples. Wherever you go, you can easily locate a temple at least 1,000 years of age. So those ancient temples, Tamil Nadu has many temples which were least affected by the invasions. Unlike North India and Andhra, Telangana, South India, Tamil Nadu is least affected by invasions. So we can see all the temples in pristine condition. So one more thing, it must be hereditary, I think. My ancestors were woodworking craftsmen belonging to Vishwakarma community. So my great-grandfather's family and relatives, they were involved in woodworking and making temple chariots. So it may be due to that genetic also, I think.
wow.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
But in our now in our family, we are not doing any of our hereditary woodworking carpentry. We are not doing. Even from my grandfather, we have switched to some other education and job oriented.
Yeah. But who knows? Like the future generations, it might come back. That gene. So, are there any particular temples in Tamil Nadu that you kind of keep going back to again and again now that you have your camera with you all the time?
Yeah. Not only Tamil Nadu, in my top priority list, many temples are there. It is not easy to single out a particular place. I have many temples.
Okay.
Mainly, I want to visit Ellora Cave Temple. It is in Kailasa Cave. It is a rock cut excavation temple. You must have seen, I think, in my page also, I have posted many posts of Ellora temple. The main thing is all the temples, they are constructed using solid rocks or bricks like that we are doing, but it is a cave temple. That is 200 tons, 200,000 of tons of rocks are excavated, and it is a cave temple. So totally you can find balconies. It was built before 1,200 to 1,400 years ago. So it is totally it is excavated from a monolithic basaltic rock. So that is even if you are using today's engineering, latest engineering technology, we can't assume how they have excavated 100 feet deep of that temple. Then it needs that. I think that must be a major project which involves generations of time. It is, I think, must have excavated at least for 100 years. Then only in the present shape, we can easily find at least 100 years of workmanship is involved in that temple excavation. So it is not a construction. Keep in mind, it is not a construction. It is totally excavated. So from top to bottom, they have excavated in a marvelous manner. It is using, if you are using a contemporary modern engineering technology also, it's still it seems difficult. I think that is a major thing, major place I want to visit again. Then another thing, it is not a temple, it is a step well, Rani Ki Vav. You must have seen in your 100 rupees currency
Yes.
note also. So it is a grand architectural wonder. That's also a grand architectural wonder and technological wonder also. So it is not the step well. Almost all the other buildings and monuments are built above the land, but here you can see above the earth. But here this Rani Ki Vav is totally, it is a grandeur that was built below the land level, earth level. So it is going into a deep, at least for 100 feet. This. So that is another place I want to visit, Rani Ki Vav. It also impressed me a lot. Apart from that, many temples in Tamil Nadu, near Tanjavur district, there is famous Chola temples, early Chola temples. The temples may be small, but it has a very good architectural value, and also the sculptures are very beautiful. I want to enjoy those sculptures again and again. So those places I want to visit again.
I don't know about others in our group, but I've been fortunate to visit both the Kailash temple at Ellora and the Rani Ki Vav in Gujarat. And I mean, you're absolutely correct. You can't imagine this kind of work being done today. You know, I think outside Kailash Nath temple in Ellora, it is written that it took about 10 generations of artisans. I remember. I think the guy.
Totally for all the caves it took.
Right. But particularly, this Kailash temple is. I mean, actually, they say it's not. It should not be even called as a work of architecture. It's a sculpture. The way it came to be, so it is a sculpture in itself. And of course, Rani Ki Vav also. I think India was fortunate that it couldn't, because it was all silted in, so it didn't get destroyed. The subterranean architecture worked for its advantage. So yes. So are there some specific? You said you've been to both the places, right? Before.
Yeah.
So you have some pictures that you could share.
Yeah, I'm having pictures. I will share.
So okay. Are you? You have the screen option if you want to share now.
Yeah. I'm sharing the screen.
Because it will be interesting for our audience also.
So these are all the sculptures of Rani Ki Vav.
Right.
So hope you must be able to see this sculptural wonder. So this is a multi-story architecture. This is the ground level. So this is the ground level. So from this level, it is totally big inside, and you can see other sculptures also. So here, all along the side, you can see the Purana sculptures, then the sculptures of Apsaras. So inside here, I'm not having that photograph. I have not posted that photograph now. So here you can see a sculpture of Lord Vishnu in lying posture. So this is a sculpture of Mahishasura Mardini. This is a famous sculpture in the Rani. So these are all the other sculptures here. This is called Karpura Manjari. The name of this sculpture is Karpura Manjari. So here you can see this a maid. She is after bathing from the hair. Some water drops are falling down, that water drops are collected by Chataka bird. You must have heard about the bird Chataka. So that bird, it will drink only rainwater. You must have in Purana, you must have studied about these things. The Chataka bird, it will drink only rainwater. So thinking the droplet as a rainwater, the bird, it comes and it collects the water droplet from her hair after bathing. So this is a most important sculpture in that Rani Ki. So here you can see the maids, they are beautifying themselves using lipsticks. This is another view of this magnificent Rani Ki. You can see here. So this is the top angle. So this is a step well. The step wells are not only used for water collection, they are also used as a social, cultural place where many events are conducted, dance forms, dance music also conducted. So here, so this is about Rani Ki Vav, and I will move to the Ellora also. This is the view of Ellora. So Ellora, this is cave number 16. So this is the total excavation. This is the a small rocky place is there. This is the ground level. From here you can see the complete excavation. There are balconies. This is the actual temple, and this is the ground level, underground level. So here the total excavation, I have already told you that 200 thousands of tons of rocks were excavated. So here they were excavated, and it is a monolithic rock. It is not made of pieces of rocks. Complete a mountain. It is totally excavated. And if there is a zero margin of error should be there. If something, if a small here you can see, if a small piece of error was committed here in constructing that pillar while excavating the pillar, the total block of temple will be will not. We cannot see in this way. Zero tolerance of error. These are all the pillars available in that at Ellora. You can see some multiple balconies also, underground passages, steps. So all are monolithic. So this is another view of that Ellora. So this is Ellora cave. Inside that cave, this is cave number 29. So this is also one of the wonderful caves in Ellora. So this is a masterpiece. I always want to visit again. So these are all the places I want to visit again. So Ellora and Rani Ki Vav. Okay. Any questions about this Ellora? Ellora cave, yourself, Isha?
I have one question about when you show this work, this kind of photographs to school and college students through your exhibitions. What kind of response you get, and what kind of questions you get from the younger people?
The younger generation people, definitely they are more interested in heritage. Actually, I have conducted many exhibitions in school for school students and college students also. So for school and college students, mostly they will be interested in wildlife photography than heritage. I think today, because wildlife is the most interesting thing for students, they get naturally attracted to wildlife photography. So while I have conducted both wildlife and nature photography and also heritage photography exhibition at the same venue. So initially I have got some doubts about response I will be receiving for that heritage photographs. But unexpectedly, I received equal response for both heritage and also wildlife photographs. Equal interest was shown by the students. Students voluntarily came up and met me and eagerly inquired about many of the sculpture, details of sculptures. In particular, they were mainly interested in sculptures which were more technically crafted. I will show you some of the sculptures I will share now. So those sculptures, they came and voluntarily asked me, so how that was sculpted, what was the period of sculpting, what was the expertise that was involved for the sculptors at that time. I will show you this. the screen also. I will now share you, and I will show you some of the marvelous sculptures, technical sculptures. I will show you. These were the sculptures mostly mostly attraction of the students. So this is a sculpture taken at Dharasuram. Dharasuram is a UNESCO heritage site. So here you can see the nose was pierced, the stick is inserted there. So you can assume the tooling. Similarly, here also, this is another one from Suchindram in Kanyakumari district, Suchindram. So in that you can insert a stick passing through the ears from left ear to right ear. You can see that is a technical wonder, and this is a monolithic chain. Marble Zero,
yeah. That's the one in Dharasuram.
Yeah, Dharasuram.
Okay.
Just backside of the temple. Backside of the temple. You have visited Dharasuram?
Yes. Okay.
Near Kumbakonam and
yeah,
Tanjore
right.
Airavateswara temple. That is the name of the temple is Airavateswara temple. Just the backside of the main Gopuram, main temple tower, you can see this.
Okay.
One is from Suchindram near Kanyakumari district. Suchindram. This is also a wonderful temple with a lot of sculptures in there. And this is the monolithic hanging chain. This is from our my native place, Pollachi Subramanya Swami temple. And you can see this hairstyle, unique hairstyle. So this one received a lot of applauses, and it was exhibited in my a hairstyle exhibition, which was conducted in 2017 at conducted by Archaeological Survey of India. So this picture was prominently displayed in the invitations and hoardings. Everything was prominently displayed. So it was a unique exhibition about hairstyles in ancient India. So that was it received a marvelous response from the spectators and visitors. So this picture was from Sri Mushnam near Chidambaram. So this is a 16th century architecture, 16th century sculpture. So belonging to Vijayanagara period. It was from Sri Mushnam Bhuvaragasami temple. This one is from, this is a longer chain. So previously you have seen a shorter hanging chain, monolithic stone chain. So this is a stone chain from Kanchipuram, Varadaraja Perumal temple. So this is a chain. This chain, total length of this chain is approximately to come around totally 14 to 15 feet length, made of single stone. So this was in one side of the corner. In another side of the corner, here you can see another sculpted chain also. So this chain, you can see here at the end of the chain, I will show you a close-up view. So here you can see parrots. Parrots are there.
Where is this, you said?
This is from Varadaraja Swami temple at Kanchipuram.
Yes. Okay. So that so these are some of the pictures you said that students.
Yeah. Students are and another thing. You must have heard about musical pillows, I think.
Hampi.
So Hampi. This is from Hampi. So these musical pillars, not only they are from Hampi, even in Tamil Nadu temples like Tirunelveli, Madurai, in Suchindram also. There are plenty of musical pillars out there.
Darasuram also outside.
Yeah. Darasuram. It is not a musical pillar. It is a musical steps.
Yeah. Right.
So it was now protected with
there is a gate now.
Because people vandalize things. So it is protected. ASI have protected. Previously it was not protected. So if you climb on the steps, it will generate music. These are all the things. Most of the people, common people, they will easily get attracted to these types of marvels. Definitely they will become more interested in heritage and sculpture. So this one is from Belur. So here you can see the tooth. I will show you the teeth. You can see this.
The one with the hands with the drum, I think that is also from Belur, right?
Yeah. This one is
Yeah,
from, you can see
yeah.
here. You can see.
So I think Shruti had some question about sort of like, you know, as a photographer, what you pay attention to. Shruti, you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, as I wanted to know that as a sculpture photographer, what are the aspects which you look into it while photographing, and which me as an amateur will not be able to look at it, or miss looking at it? Like, what is it that you can see and what is it that I cannot see? What is it that you look at while photographing a sculpture?
Uh, so the main difference between other photography and heritage photography is that you can take your own time. There is no person called amateur or professional in this heritage photography. So any interested person, he or she can take many good pictures. In heritage photography, you can devote more time. That is the most important thing. Unlike a wildlife photography or birding photography, so you have to your timing is very restricted, and you have to capture the instance or photograph in at the stipulated time or the exact more precisely. You have to capture the scene. But whereas in heritage photography, you can take your own time. That's the major advantage of heritage photography. So you can, but heritage photography, you have to mainly concentrate on the lighting and mood.
Yeah.
Natural lighting, because in archaeological survey controlled areas, we cannot use artificial lights.
Yeah.
So we have to use only the natural lighting. So that natural lighting, you have to wait for the time. You should not use harsh light timings. That is in between 10 and 3. Those are all the timings which are not good for photography, any photography. So you have to use natural lighting. You have to go there in early mornings or in the late evenings. So you can get natural lighting, very good natural lighting. That is called evening lighting. That is called as golden hour. You must have heard about it, golden hour of photography. But you have to keep in mind, you have to avoid the shadows. So while taking in evening or morning lighting, if you're using morning or evening lighting, so shadows may be there. So it may create some unwanted effects on the photograph. So you must carefully avoid that shadows, and you must put a natural lighting. And apart from that, while photographing a sculpture, you have to capture the expressions of the sculpture. So in ancient sculptures, apart from the facial expressions, and you have to give more emphasis for capturing the uh, artworks and other ornamentations. Which ornamentations I will show you in another few photographs. I will show you. So in those photographs, more ornamentation. Which ornamentations will also be sculpted. Then we must clearly bring out the life in a sculpture, which was sculpted by the sculptor. The sculptor who may have expressed many things in a sculpture. So all those things you must be trying to capture those things. But many times you must be missing while photographing. You might be missing many things because in a new place you might not be able to see the most important sculpture or a prominent sculpture that should not be missed. So for taking those pictures, you have to prepare. You have to do a proper work before going to that place. What are all the important pictures or sculptures you should not miss? Where to photograph? Which sculpture are not to be missed? You have to do a clear paperwork for that. Then you can also ask the guidance of a guide. Professional guides will be there, so you can ask them, and you can get the guidance of those people. Those experienced people, they will definitely So the prominent sculptures or prominent futures, we should not be missed at a particular place. Then for composition, and you have to give more priority to the composition and lighting. I have already told for sculpture. So I will show you some of the sculptures with. I will show you.
When you say about the expressions, like to capture the expression or the ornamentation,
Okay.
so does that depend on the angle in which you're taking the photograph? Like,
Yeah, definitely. I have already told you that more emphasis should be given to. Here, I will show you one photograph.
yes.
So this is a Varga sculpture from Patadakar. So here you can see the lighting. It was taken in the evening time. So the
Yes.
lighting and his facial expressions. Also you can see. This is one picture. I will show you another picture also. So here you can see another picture. So this is from Krishnapuram near Tirunelveli. This sculpture is from Krishnapuram near Tirunelveli district of Tamil Nadu. This is a gypsy, that is we call it as Puravan in Tamal. So he is here you can see this complete sculpture. Even you can see the muscles, rib cages, everything you can see here. And his facial expression also, his eyes, and one more sculpture I will show you. So these are all the prominent sculptures of Krishnapuram. The place is from Krishnapuram. So here you should not miss this particular thing. I will show you. I think now you must be able to see the rib cage. Are you able to see this rib cage? Zoom the view.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the ribcage, the bones. So it clearly you can see these things. So for this sculpture, while photographing this sculpture, you have to go around the picture. You have to go around the sculpture. But unfortunately, now in this temple, photography is now prohibited. Previously, it was this picture was taken before 10 years. 10 years. And now photography is strictly prohibited here. So any more questions regarding this? Yes.
So this is very interesting because, like Sri Aurobindo has written a lot about Indian sculpture. And one of the things he has mentioned is that broadly in the Indian sculptural tradition, the emphasis has been, like you said, to bring out the life, the soul value of that, especially when you are sculpting images of deities, of gods and goddesses. And not much attention is paid to the physicality of the soul, in the sense he compares it with the Greek sculpture, where there was a lot of emphasis on like the muscular representation, or like you are saying, this ribs. So it's very interesting that there is a huge diversity in Indian sculptural tradition as well. So
definitely.
And certainly somebody like you who has been through most of India, covering most of the temples and seen such a huge variation. So it must be really, you have this very broad understanding of Indian sculptural tradition. How do you convey, how do you share that enthusiasm with the students who are just probably more intrigued by, like what you said, the skill, the expertise, the technical side, but not necessarily the inner value of it, especially when it comes to images of gods and goddesses, because there is another inner significance that has gone into it. Are you able to share that with your students? I mean,
students, I think in that age group, that is from 15 to 18, 19, below that 20, 25 age group, those people, to be honest, they won't be too much matured, I think, to understand those inner values. Well, in that age group, they will be fascinated only by the sculptural wonders or whatever it attracts much of it.
Right.
So
Right.
they are, I think, but some people they asked about the facial beauty or inner expressions, facial expressions, a smile from the sculpture. In Chola sculptures
Right.
belonging to medieval period, you can see. Yeah, smile in that beauty. It is an attractive one in the particular about the Chola sculptures, I think. So those sculptures it should be enjoyed, but not in the level of student age group. I think they are mostly fascinated by the sculptural wonders. I have already shown some of the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
They are much more interested in that. In their age group, definitely they
Sure.
must be interested only in that.
Yeah.
After the maturing, after they get maturity, definitely they will be interested in other sculptures also.
Yeah. Sure. Isha, you had some questions?
Yes, Madhuji.
Yes.
For those who are new to Indian sculpture or cultural heritage, what would you want them to learn from these photographs? What would you want them to look into the photographs? Those who are new and those who are less interested in these, what are they missing out
Uh,
upon?
because then so, learned about thing. A photo is the photo speaks more than hundreds of reading hundreds of pages of books. So, regularly by seeing my posts in Facebook or other media, most of the foreign people also they are making inquiries about the sculptures, latest sculptures, and what are all the. Recently, I have posted a sculpture about Karana sculptures. You must have heard about dance sculptures. The Bharatanatyam Karana, they call it as Karana sculptures. I received an inquiry about it a week ago from a foreigner. So those people are mainly interested. We are thinking than Indians, than our people. Foreign people they are showing much interested in our traditional cultures. They are regularly and mostly in Sundays I will be receiving calls or messages from the viewers. They will be inquiring about this culture, from where, which place it was, about the historical information of the places. They, regularly, I receive calls about it. Then, what we are exactly asking about? You're asking about, I think, was your exact
What should they look for in Indian sculpture, and what are they missing out upon if they are not aware of the beauty of Indian cultural temple heritage?
temple heritage, mostly speaking, Tamil Nadu draws more attention, more people from foreign visitors. You must have heard about that one also. So most of the tourists visiting India are visiting mainly Tamil Nadu temples because of that. Knowing about already they are knowing about the cultural beauty of the temples through the social media, newspapers, or learning books. They are already aware of it, but most of the people they come and they enjoy about the cultural beauty. They ask about the from my photograph. They ask about the place, the history, how to go there, what are all the other things we have to look into. They also ask about the importance of sculptures. They ask about the even while posting a photograph about Velur and Faisala sculptures. I received an inquiry about the name of the sculptor. That is a famous sculptor who has sculpted these, who has done the architecture, main architect of the temple, Jagannachari. You must have heard about that person, belonging to 12th century, 11th, 12th century. So he was a famous sculptor. They are knowing about that sculptor also. Not only they are studying about the temple, the architecture, they have studied about the sculptor who has done the, he was the chief sculptor, architect. Even they are now asking about the name of the architects also. So people are studying about, interested people are studying about everything. Not only they are looking, simply they are casually not looking at the sculpture. Indeed, they are in depth, they are asking about the importance of the sculptures and other related and related things also.
Yeah, that's great. That's great that sort of so many people outside of India are taking interest in our heritage through
Yeah.
this medium of
Definitely, we must be proud of it.
yes,
Definitely.
and it would be nice if more and more Indians also begin to take that same level of interest.
Yeah, but
But I think with people, the efforts of people like you who are sharing this so profusely on social media and making it much more available, so that is definitely going to generate more and more interest. So that's
yeah,
why I think your work is very, very relevant for today's generation, because like you said, a picture speaks a lot more than
yeah.
number of books. So from heritage to wildlife and nature photography, how did that transition happen?
Uh, it was not, actually, it was not a transition. Actually, I have a great passion about photography. So my place Pollachi is near to two popular tiger reserves in India. Parambikulam Tiger Reserve and Anamalai Tiger Reserve. Parambikulam Tiger Reserve is in Kerala, and is top slip that is Anamalai Tiger Reserve is very near to our place, just 40 kilometers from our place. So by weekends in my college days, in weekends I usually visit those places in my two wheelers. So naturally I got also you must have heard about that Valparai hill station. So usually monthly twice or monthly once I try to those places in my college days and take photographs using that film camera in those days. So I got equal interest in nature photography also. I have started visiting many wildlife sanctuaries in India. Recently, before 3 years, I went to Masai Mara in Africa. That is the dream destination of a wildlife photographer. I visited that place also. So apart from heritage, I give more importance to wildlife and nature photography also.
Yeah. So you have some pictures to share, just a few
Uh,
samples.
a few samples. Mostly, I have given in. I have taken only heritage photographs, but I am also having those things also.
Okay, yeah.
I will post it later. I will share it later.
Yeah, that would be nice, because I think that's another really important area. The photography that can capture the. I mean, that's part of our heritage, the
Yeah, yeah,
natural.
yeah.
So
A
to
country's
preserve.
wealth is
Yes.
heritage and its wildlife nature.
Right. So you're right. Absolutely. So and now especially there is more and more need to understand the significance of preserving our natural
Yeah,
heritage,
definitely.
preserving the
Photography
ecological.
promotes conservation and preservation.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
more important. So every photographer, whether he is a wildlife photographer, nature photographer, or heritage photographer, uh, photography promotes preservation, conservation. That's the most important, ultimate aim of photography. Not clicking pictures, not just sharing with social media. So that's one part of life. Apart from that, more importance should be given to given to conservation issues, conservation and preservation. That's the most ultimate aim of photography
Right.
should. So,
Right.
but
Right.
today's youngsters, young people, uh, they are more knowledgeable about conservation also. Most of the people are actively participating in conservation programs organized by wildlife and heritage societies, private societies, and government. Uh, India also they are conducting many heritage awareness camps and wildlife nature awareness camps, conservation awareness camps. Most of the young people today they are eagerly participating and they are doing wonderful stuff.
Great. Great. And I'm sure many of them have you as their mentor as well. So, Shruti, Isha, if you have any more questions you'd like to or share any thought at this point. Yes, please, Shruti, go ahead.
When I'm listening, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yeah. So when I'm listening to his journey about heritage photography, I feel that it's a completely different world and the completely different subject for me, because I have not photographed sculptures or architectural buildings or temples. So what my style of photography, now I feel ki, oh my god, now I have to step into another world to get into heritage photography, and that's what
Definitely you
the
will,
vibrations I'm getting. Looking at his
definitely you will
photographs, looking
be
at his
exploring them.
experience, and also this is what I wanted to share. Ki even though I'm learning photography here, because in this place I get to experiment a lot. I get to experiment a lot with people. I get to experiment a lot with quick shots, like very urgent shots. And then my personal interest is nature photography. I travel, so I take a lot of landscape photography, but never got a chance to capture a temple. And whenever I have to capture a temple or a sculpture, then I am like a charm, like then I'm now I understand why
Okay.
that is. It's a
They
completely
totally,
different world
yeah.
actually.
You can learn many
So
things.
like
Photography, you can learn many things because reading hundreds of books, you can learn a lot in photography. If you are if you are photographing, for example, you are interested in nature photography, while taking a butterfly, definitely, if you are capturing a butterfly, taking a photograph of a butterfly, definitely you will be interested in knowing about the what is the name of the species, name of the butterfly,
exactly,
whether it is a
that is very
migratory one,
interesting.
yeah,
Yes,
whether it is a
yes.
migratory one, what is a migratory season, when it comes, what is its, how to identify the male butterfly and female butterfly. So everything will be learning about those things. And small insects and bugs. Definitely, you will be interested and curious to know about the name of the bug. Uh, So it automatically you will be entering into the world of zoology and botany also using photography. And also, if you are doing heritage photography, definitely you will be becoming an expert in history also, history and archaeology. Definitely you will automatically you will get interested in history. By taking photographs of temples, automatically you will be getting interested in the historical things. Definitely will be. Because if you are seeing a sculpture or if you are visiting a temple, if you are admiring the works of a sculptor, definitely you will get a question: which king commissioned this temple? So, what were the expenses? How he has done those expenses? How he has met the expenses? How many sculptors were involved in creating that beautiful architecture? So, all these things should come to your mind. So, if you are thinking about it, about that, definitely you will be reading about those things, the period of construction, who constructed it, all those things definitely you'll be reading about. You'll be getting knowledge about it.
And that I think is the really appropriate method of educating youngsters.
Yeah, yeah.
Through any work. I mean, this is a very integral, holistic approach to education, which unfortunately is not so common in many schools and colleges to this day. More and more schools are opening to methods like this, but there is still a long way to go.
Yeah, but excuse me, but I want to point out a single thing here. While visiting Karnataka, while photographing and documenting temples in Karnataka, you told about the school education system. I have seen many students, school students, going for excursion in ancient temples.
Yes, yes.
Whenever I'm visiting an ancient temple at Karnataka, I have seen school students for the excursion along with the teachers, school teachers. So the school teachers, they were explaining about the sculptures. I was wondered about that. Even taken photographs with them, with the
Yeah,
students also. And
yeah.
they also show the immense interest in seeing the sculptures, inquiring about things. So in that age itself, the young age, school age itself, more emphasis should be given for teaching about our rich cultural heritage, then architecture, temple architecture. If you are knowing, without history, you cannot admire your country. Because India is a rich heritage and rich country in terms of its heritage and culture.
Right, right, right. Isha, you had any questions for Madhuji? Any comment or thought? you like to share?
It's almost time, but yeah, one last question, Madhuji. How has photography, nature photography or heritage photography changed you as a person? And what advice would you like to give to the young generation in making their choices about life?
So youngsters, today's youngsters, I'm not in a position to give advice because they are all experts in their respective fields. They are learning a lot in photography in social media. If you see, they are posting. Uh, there are lot of talents are there. Even at the young age group, many wildlife photographers are there. Even at the age group of 19, 20, they are creating wonderful pictures. They can also earn from that. You can from the photography you can learn, and also at the same time you can earn, because in today's social media you can create videos, professional videos, which will create more revenue for you, and also you have to visit places for exploring heritage. You have to visit places, travel. So you have to. So my passion, I'm one more thing. I'm equally interested in travel also. So travel and photography are my two eyes. So if you want to photograph, if you want to explore a new place, means definitely you have to travel. I'm having a lot of interest in travel also. So my young age, I have traveled extensively throughout South India in my younger ages. Now I'm traveling in almost all the places in India. So I'm having great passion about photography of nature and also wildlife and heritage also. So today's youngsters, they are giving much attention in wildlife photography than natural heritage photography. So, but some people, they are not only they are taking heritage pictures. I have seen many youngsters, they are equally interested in even archaeology and epigraphy also. Many youngsters below the age group of 23 to 25, they are reading, they are doing an extensive work. I have seen many of them. They are even complicated epigraphs belonging to second or third century. They are able to interpret those things. But their study and choice of profession is they are different. They are not history students, but doing other jobs, computer science or civil engineering or other aspects of engineering. They are doing it as a hobby, and they are doing their wonderful job in understanding the archaeology. They are doing epigraphy translations also. They are doing epigraphy. So that's a wonderful youngsters. They are today's youngsters. A portion of the people, you cannot expect from everybody, uh, are always there. They are providing their own.
Yeah. I just want to add that, I think it doesn't mean that you are not young or we are not young. We are all young. I mean, we are all, as long as we are progressing and learning new things. And you certainly have, sir, inspired us to go deeper into, when we look at a temple sculpture or when we visit any temple or any other heritage place like Rani Ki Vav, any other stepwells, or even, our own neighborhood temple or neighborhood buildings, the history that is hidden behind the surface. So you've really inspired us to be aware and become more interested in learning about that. And certainly, of course, the natural heritage. So if there are no more questions, maybe we can close at this point with a lot of thanks to Madhuji to spend so much time and sharing such beautiful pictures. So thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing your passion with us, sharing the enthusiasm for Indian heritage with us. Many, many thanks.
Many thanks to Aurobindo Society. Many thanks to Aurobindo Society.
Yes.
Heartfelt thanks because for creating a platform to me to promote my passion and photography to all your viewers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhu.
Thank you so much.